Hey everyone, it's Nicole,
Hi, it's Laura from My Story.
and we're doing a video together. Today we also did one on her channel, so I'll have that linked below. But in this video, we're just going to talk about like coping mechanisms and what we've learned through our experience and what's kind of helped us. The first one we have is taking life one day at a time, and that's like a really important thing, and it's something that Laura kind of had explained to me. But just things like before surgery, you might be used to like normal things, I guess, or like hanging out with friends and stuff and like having those big goals. And then after surgery, you learn to just take life one day at a time because it gets too difficult to cope with otherwise when you keep getting disappointed when something happens. So that's something that's been really important for us.
Yeah, and kind of going off of that, our second thing on our list is making small goals, because we were talking about, the idea of transferring to a different college or moving, and those are all pretty big goals, and sometimes when we make big goals, we get disappointed. So making small goals that are obtainable with like health that is kind of up and down is really important, because it makes you feel like you've accomplished something, and sometimes that's less disappointing and like more rewarding anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the next one is kind of similar, but like stop comparing yourself to your peers. Especially like being in college, it's hard to like look at regular college students who are worried about like school or classes, or worried about like traveling or studying abroad or like boyfriends, like things like that, which are all like important as a college student. And we realize that it's just a little different for us and we have different priorities. So it got really hard for me because I really wanted to transfer schools, and I just kept comparing myself to other people, like other friends of mine. I'd look on Facebook and see like, oh, they're applying for graduate school, and here I am like at a community college, and you feel like so much worse when you compare yourself to other people.
Yeah. And also, like, really quickly, like, we were talking about how people our age are concerned with going to parties and that kind of stuff too, and we both kind of look at them and are like, oh, if I had your perfect health, I would not be destroying my body like you are, and like throwing up and all this stuff. So yeah, it's hard to compare yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
The next one is appreciate the little things and be thankful for the good days. This is really important because, I mean, the little things are sometimes all you really have when you're sick, and so you need to be thankful for the sunshine on your face, and be thankful for the nice weather, and be thankful for the people in your life that you love. So be thankful for the little things that some people don't really think about.
Yeah, and I think people look at us a lot and say like, oh my God, how do you do it? And I could never do it if I was in your shoes. And it's like, for us, it's just like a normal thing. Like it just becomes something that's part of our life and something that we just have to do. But it's like, it wasn't always easy, and it took a while to get to that point. Like, you really do have to appreciate the smaller things, because if you're looking at the big picture and comparing yourself and wishing that you were something else so you can continue your life the way you imagined it, it gets so much harder. So
yeah, and overwhelming.
Yeah. And it's not like we're always the type of people that we're like, we'll wake up in the morning and be like, oh my God, this is a good day because I don't have a blockage or because I'm feeling good. But now it's like an amazing thing. Or like you could go to a class and come back and be like, oh my God, I made it through and it was fine.
Right.
So
yeah.
It's just like you have to alter different things, but it gets easier when you change things like that. So the next one, actually, I think this is like a bigger one for Laura than it is for me. Yeah. Starting to become bigger, but motivational quotes are like amazing.
Yeah.
And she even has some like in her room.
I like just like drew them up really quickly, and like, yeah, I like make art with them and stuff like that. So I think motivational quotes are just so wonderful for me, because they're like mantras that when you're having a really difficult day, you can just say them over and over in your head, and they like kind of get you through the day. Like, my favorite like recent one is like, kick at the darkness until it bleeds light, because that's kind of what we have to do every day. We have to have all these like looming scary thoughts about like our health and everything that we have to deal with, but we need to be able to fight that and be able to find the light in it.
Yeah. And like my screensaver and like background on my computer, I have a quote, and it's like, what is it now? It's like, life's not about waiting for the storm to pass, it's about learning to dance in the rain, or something like that. So like, that's, I think, a really good one for me, because it does get really hard to wait for that, like, good moment. You can't just wait for when everything's perfect to, like, go and live your life. You have to just deal with it the way things are and, like, make the best of it, which can be hard, but it's not like you shelter yourself completely. You just, like, deal with it the best way you can.
Yeah, that's very true. So the next one we have is strong support system. This is really important because you just need to know that people are going to be there for you, because with an illness, sometimes we're in too much pain or we're too sick to be able to do things for ourselves, and that's really daunting and scary. And so having people in your support system that you know will take care of you and that will love you and that you can trust is really, really important, and it takes some of the heavy load off of you, I think.
Yeah. And I think it helps too, like, to have people online. Like, I first met Laura through YouTube, actually, so it was weird, but it's nice to have someone who knows what you're going through, but it's also important to have people who are, like, real people in your life and not just on the internet, and, like, family or friends, just somebody there who you could talk to if you need to, if you're having, like, a really bad day or something.
Right.
I mean, we're always here to, like, help people out and provide, like, support for people because we understand it and we live it, but it's also important to have family that understands it too, or, like, close friends.
People who've seen you grow up or seen you through a bunch of different life phases, like, whereas Nicole and I are friends in real life now, and it's great, but we can't just be one person for them. Like, you need a bigger support system than just one or two people. It needs to be some big so people can, like, share the load, you know?
Yeah. And sort of going along with that, you have to be comfortable with talking about it to a certain degree. And I know there's a lot of people who have had it for years and still may not be comfortable with it. And I think it helped me a lot to know someone else, like, to know Laura and see that she was comfortable talking about it, and she was, like, pretty normal. Like, I didn't think she was weird or anything talking about it. So it's really important to be comfortable with it, because that makes you, like, more comfortable, I think, and, like, you're able to talk about it, you're able to go out more, and you're not as worried about what people think or what people are going to say.
Yeah, that's very true. And then the next one is, like, my all-time favorite thing when I'm having, like, a terrible, terrible hospital stay where I'm, like, really sick and can barely walk. It's list 5 things that were better today than yesterday, and these are, like, very, very small things. I always use the example of, like, after one of my hospitalizations, I came home and I had to sleep on the couch downstairs because I couldn't make it up the stairs. And so the first day that I made it up the stairs, even though that's not, like, in the scheme of things so big, it was, like, the best accomplishment ever. And so I listed that as one of my 5. And then, you know, one would be, like, I wasn't in pain this morning when I got up. Yeah, like, 5 minutes later I was in pain, but I wasn't in pain when I got up. And so, like, little things that show you that you're improving just a small amount every day, because sometimes when you're sick, it doesn't feel like you're getting any better, because sometimes you are, like, plateaued for a while.
Yeah. There's something else, I forgot to mention it earlier, but it kind of fits with this. Like, when I was in the hospital, a big thing for me was, you know, I wasn't planning on doing anything soon after surgery, but I had family that was doing the hot chocolate 5K in Chicago, and I really wanted to do it. And that became my motivation to get out of the hospital. So every day when I'd wake up, I'd go for a walk. I'd track it on my phone with, like, a little, like, cardio trainer app, and I'd want to go farther than the day I did before. Or than the amount I did before. So it'd be, like, instead of going to that wall, I'd go to the next corner. I walk around the whole floor twice. Like, just little progress helps. And I ended up doing it, so it felt so good. Like, the feeling of finally making it to that goal was amazing.
Yeah, and having a goal or having something to look forward to after you're really sick is, I think it, like, speeds up the healing process a lot, because every time that I, like, am on break when I'm sick, it takes a lot longer for me to like, get back to where I want to be. But when I'm at school, since I'm being forced to, like, or not forced, but I'm forcing myself to go to classes and to, like, make it through the whole day, it pushes yourself, and then you end up healing quicker.
Yeah, it gives you, like, a good distraction to spend your time thinking about instead of just being sick all the time.
Yeah, very true.
And the last one we have is naming your stoma, and we both name ours. So I named mine Squirt.
And mine's named Trixie.
Yeah. So, and we just think that it helps a lot to name it, because it, like, when you're out in public or something, for an example, like you could say like, oh my God, Squirt's acting up or Squirt's being loud or something. And people don't really know what you're talking about. They might wonder, but they're not going to think like, oh, she has a stoma and it's pooping. Like, they just don't know. So that kind of helps. And it also helps just to like, I don't know, just coping with it.
Yeah.
You don't refer to it as part of you, really.
Right. I think that, like, because it's such an, like, non-natural thing, it's kind of hard to, like, look down and be like, oh my gosh, that's my intestine, versus, like, oh, that's just Trixie, you know, like, it kind of gives it this divide where it's not, like, when it's acting up or when it's, like, pooping a ton when you're trying to put your bag on, you're not frustrated at yourself, you're frustrated at Trixie, and, you know, so I think it is just, like, kind of a coping mechanism to deal with the fact that you have your intestines sticking out of your abdomen. I mean, that's not something that people are used to looking down and seeing. So
like when I spoke to some like high school students about it, and their reaction to it when they first saw it was like, oh my God, what is that? Like, what's that red thing sticking out? And like, it kind of scared people. And the way I look at it, like, I didn't say it, but I'm kind of like, it's not me, it's Squirt. Like, I don't know, you just don't think of it as something that's like you. And then when there's a problem with it, it makes it easier because you're not like blaming yourself or upset with yourself, really. You're kind of like mad at your stoma for a little bit, and then you get over it. So
right, yeah.
It might sound weird, but I don't know, it's helped us. So.
Yeah, and a lot of people name their stomas, so I think that it is kind of like not normal because our whole situation isn't normal, but like it's something that is widely accepted in like the ostomy community. Yeah. It's
like our new normal, which is actually the name of the video that we made on Laura's channel, so you can go and click on the link down below. If you have any other questions, like send me a message or send Laura a message and ask us, and if we get enough, like maybe we'll make another video answering them. But I hope everyone's doing good, and we'll see you later.
Bye.